What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prizepicks MLB player props video. This one going to be breaking it down. Going to be, guys, 5 picks to get you winning some money over here on Prizepicks. As always, if you haven't checked out Prizepicks, would highly recommend you check them out. It is a player props website and app where you can win money off of picking the over and under on things like player strikeouts, first inning runs allowed, first inning hits allowed, etc. Go ahead and use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 today. Again, that is code KJK DFS. Go to lock that in, get that free money offer. Start winning some money over here on Prizepicks with these picks today, guys. And if you are getting very serious, I do offer premium content packages. That's linked below in the description, patreon.com/KJK_DFS. So check that out. Especially the all-new VIP member package that's going to get you access to all my picks for every single app, for every single sport. I know the NFL is coming up. We got the WNBA playoffs going on right now. We got the MLB. I do give out these 5 free picks, but I got a lot more to offer over there, as well as teaching you in the Discord any questions you have. All of that fun stuff. And if you enjoy the content, would be greatly appreciated if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. So, let's talk about it. We'll go game by game as we always do. And the first game that we're going to talk about is going to be the Atlanta Braves taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we're going to talk about Mr. JT Brubaker because he gets to take on an Atlanta Braves squad today that, while they do have a 4.7 implied total, they do have a lot of strikeouts in their bats, and JT Brubaker has some pretty good strikeout stuff. I'm going to sort my sheet by swinging strike rate. JT Brubaker with a 23.2% carried overall, 12.2% swinging strike rate. He's got a 22.3% carried against righties and a 24.1% carried against lefties. Does have some hard contact issues against those left-handed bats, but luckily for him, this is a pretty right-handed heavy lineup, so I think he can kind of get through this lineup multiple times, go 5-6 innings, rack up a lot of strikeouts along the way. I think he's in a really good spot to do so because this Atlanta Braves squad, when we're reading off these K rates, they got some power, but they also do strike out a ton, man. I mean, you start from the bottom up with Robbie Grossman. He's got a 30% K rate overall, and then 23, 28, 27, 24, 24, 26, and 23, respectively. And then, like I said, I know Brubaker has a little bit of splits issues against lefties, but there's only expected to be 1, 2, 3 lefties in the lineup. So if he can carve up these righties, get a couple of those lefties down, I like his odds to get 6 or more strikeouts here, and I like the line that's set at 5.5. And you're looking at his recent performances as far as how he has been faring. He's hitting the over pretty consistently here. I mean, you can see the last 3 times out, 6, 6, and 7 strikeouts, 88, 92, 85 pitches, 4 or 5 innings pitched respectively in these 2 games, but then he got back up to the 7 innings. I'm going to expect him to be right around 90 pitches, go 5, 6 innings. And like I said, if he's able to go through this lineup a few times, I think he can carve him up pretty good with that swinging strike stuff that he's got. So I like the over 5.5 strikeouts for JT Brubaker as pick number 1 today. Pick number 2, we're going to go down to the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Los Angeles Angels. There we go. Couldn't find him there for a second. We're going to talk about Jose Suarez. He gets a nice ballpark upgrade here going into the Trop, which is one of the best pitching environments in baseball. I'm going to be targeting the K-prop. But obviously, the pitching environment just helps to be able to keep the ball in the ballpark, not for him to get blown up too much, keep the pitch count down. That's all things that will help us as far as the K prop is concerned. Now, obviously, that's a little bit more relevant with targeting fantasy, but still, I like to mention it. Trop, great pitching environment, always good spot to be targeting those pitchers. And I want to talk about Jose Suarez because he's got some pretty good swing strike stuff looking at his rates. He's got a 22.6% carried overall with a 12% swing strike rate, 23.9% carried against righties, only an 18.2% carried against lefties, ironically, even though he's a southpaw himself. But that's not going to hurt our feelings anymore. It's not going to hurt our feelings that he's actually more strong against the right-handed hitters because most teams are going to load up with the right-handed bats, and the Tampa Bay Rays are expected to do so today. And once again, a team that has some very heavy K guys in their lineup. They've done a good job of cutting down the Ks at the top of the lineup a little bit. Yandy Diaz only has a 4% K rate. Manuel Margot only has a 9% K rate. But then you get down to the bottom, that's when things get pretty intriguing. So starting from the bottom up with Siri against the left-handed pitching, he's got a 47% K rate. And then 20, 37, 27, 23, 10, 9, 19, and 4 at the top. So like I said, they have done a pretty good job of adding, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Yandy Diaz. So they're not quite as bad against left-handed pitching as far as K rate's concerned. But then you get down to the bottom, and I think Jose Suarez can just carve them up. They only have a 4 implied total. If he's able to go through this lineup a couple of times, this is 2, 3, 4 strikeouts per turn in the lineup. And his K-prop's only set at 4.5. So I do think there's some pretty nice value on this one. I like the over 4.5 strikeouts. And then once again, you look at his recent form, his leash, how long are they letting him going into these ball games. These are all things that we want to make sure that we're checking in on just to make sure we have a clear understanding. And pretty good there as well. He's going to be right up there around 90 pitches, typically 91, 97, 82 respectively the last couple times out. He did give up 300 runs, got himself in a little bit of a pickle that last time, so he got pulled early. But then you look at the strikeouts, last 3 times out, 5, 8, and 5 respectively. One time before he only had 3, but then time before he had 6. So the swinging strike stuff's clearly on display. And I think this is a fantastic spot, like I said, especially once you get down to the bottom of the lineup. That's where I think he's really going to get his strikeouts here. If you can just limit the damage, which he's expected to, with the Rays only having a 4 implied total, get to that bottom of the lineup, go over the, go through this lineup 2-3 times. I'm sorry, on the Rays side, 2-3 times. Really do like his chances of getting 5+ strikeouts here. So that's going to be pick number 2. Then pick number 3, we're going to run it back over to the other side, Corey Kluber, because he once again has some pretty good swinging strike stuff. He doesn't really walk anyone. He goes right at hitters, which is what I'm really intrigued about. He only has a 3.5% walk rate, 21.7% K overall, and 11.8% swinging strike rate. 21.7% carried against those righties, and a 21.6% carried against lefties. So really consistent across the board, and once again, only a 3% walk rate, so he's going to go right at these hitters, which I think is going to pay big dividends when it comes to this Los Angeles Angels lineup, because they strike out, once again, a lot. There's a lot of heavy K guys starting from the bottom up with this lineup as far as the LA Angels are concerned with Kurt Suzuki. He's got a 22% K overall, and then you work yourself up 29, 43, 37, 24, 17, 31, and 22. So even Ohtani and Trout at the top, even though they're elite hitters, I mean, they strike out a bunch. They do have a couple of low strikeout guys mixed in here, kind of similar to the Rays, but then you get down to the bottom of the lineup, 9, 8, 7, 6. There's just so many strikeouts to be had once you get down there. Once again, if Kluber's able to work his way through this lineup 2-3 times, really do like his odds of picking up 6+ strikeouts here. So, like the over 5.5 strikeouts for Corey Kluber as pick number 3 today. Pick number 4. We're going to be going down to Coors Field, surprisingly. We're going to talk about some pitching in Coors Field today, which is something I don't typically target a lot, but we got some power pitching in here. No one that's really reliant on the 12-6 curveball or anything like that. That's something that I talk about a lot. In Coors Field, I don't like targeting curveball pitchers because the ball with the elevation tends to not break quite as friendly to them. It tends to hang up. In general, the ball just doesn't break as much in Coors Field, but tends to be a little bit more friendly to those power pitchers, and that's what we have here with Dane Dunning and German Marquez. They both take on pretty heavy K lineups. So I'll start with Dane Dunning on the away side. You're looking at his K rates and everything as far as how he fares. Does have a little bit of split issues, but is really, really good against right-handed hitting specifically. He's got a 20.1% K overall with a 10% swing strike rate. That's pretty respectable with a 24.4% K rate against righties. That's really good. Across the board, he's really good against righties. It's lefties that gives him a bit of an issue with a 16.3% K rate, 473 slugging given up. But righties, he's really, really good. You look at this Colorado Rockies lineup as far as what they're expected to roll out. They're only expected to have 3 lefties in the lineup. You got Charlie Blackmon, Ryan McMahon, Sam Hilliard, and then the rest are all going to be right-handed. And there's some nice K rates to be had throughout the lineup. So starting from the bottom up with Bernard, he's only got a 15% K rate, but then 20, 26, 36, 26, 25, 17, 19, and 11 at the top for Mr. Dane Dunning. Mostly reliant on the sinker-slider combination. I already kind of looked into it. These Colorado Rockies bats have some really high whiff rates against that slider specifically. So I think Dane Dunning has a really friendly line over here. He's got a pretty long leash, and his K-prop's only set at 3.5. So I know it's Coors Field, but if he gives him a couple runs, we don't really care when we're talking to the K-prop. He just can't get totally blown up. I don't think he does today. Like the over 3.5 strikeouts, and then lastly, the leash. Once again, only 3.5 strikeouts, and the guy's got a pretty long leash as far as his pitch count's concerned. You can see 92, 101, and 103 respectively the last couple times out. And the last time he failed to hit this K-prop was all the way back on July 10th. So he's hit the over on 3.5 strikeouts in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight games. So not exactly sure why the line's so low. I guess it's because it's Coors Field, but I'm not really too scared. I do think he's able to get 4+ strikeouts. Do like the over 3.5 strikeouts for Dane Dunning as pick number 4. And then pick number 5, we're going to be sticking right in this game. Not exactly the highest of total either when it comes to Coors Field. I mean, 10.5 implied total is obviously high, but when it comes to Coors Field, not terrible. And keep in mind, a lot of that's factoring in the bullpen as well. It's not all about the starters. We have another long leash in German Marquez. He's got some decent strikeout stuff. Once again, you're looking at his stuff. He's got an 18.6% K rate overall, 9.7% swinging strike rate, 19.8% K rate against those righties, and a 17.6% K rate against lefties. Has had some hard contact issues, I will say, but when we're looking at this Texas lineup, I'm not too scared, honestly. They're not flashing the most power throughout, and they've got a lot of strikeouts. And once again, German Marquez, pretty low K-prop line and a really long leash. So you're looking at his pitch counts, 103, 103, 90, 97. You look at the Ks, 4, 6, 3, 4, 6. So he's clearly shown the K upside to be able to get up there to around 6, 7 strikeouts when he gets an opponent that does strike out a lot. That's exactly what he gets today. against this Texas Ranger squad because there's a lot of strikeouts. Starting from the bottom up with Duran. He strikes out 22% of the time. And then 26, 30, 24, 21, 27, 25, 15, and 15 at the top with Semien and Seager. So really, it's only Semien and Seager that have low strikeout rates, and you get past them. A lot of strikeouts to be had. Once again, Herman Marquez has a really long leash. I like his odds of being able to rack up 5+ strikeouts against this Rangers offense tonight. So pick number 5. We will be rocking with the over 4.5 strikeouts for Herman Marquez. And that is my 5 picks to get you winning some money over here on Prizepicks in the MLB today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Looking to go 5-0. Get hot, get on a roll here. And I think we can get that going today. So looking forward to it. If you haven't checked out the premium content, check that out. Link below in the description. And if you haven't signed up for Prizepicks, sign up today. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100. Best of luck to you guys on your MLB props tonight. And we will see you in the next one.